Escambia County tax deed sales. Welcome back. Today's episode is going to be about tax deed sales. Now, when I say tax deed sale, it really is going to be an auction. So we're going to talk about Escambia County tax deed sales, which are really auctions. Now, most people don't realize that county is the home of the Florida legislature, which is the capital of Florida, which is Tallahassee. So I'm Ted Thomas. I've been involved in tax lien sales and tax defaulted property for about 30 years. Now, these are properties that the owners have failed to pay the property tax. Now, what does that mean? Every year, the county will assess property tax to every property owner, and no matter what county you're in, all 3,000 counties, 3,000 plus counties, will assess property tax. Not paying the taxes has a major consequence in no matter what state you get involved in. You must pay your property tax. So in Florida, they're very benevolent, at least that's my opinion. They're very good. Before they have a tax deed auction and take the property away, they have what they call as a tax lien certificate sale. All right, so this is allowed in all 67 counties. They have tax lien sales, and they sell the taxes on properties that are in default. Now, those taxes are sold at a sale usually taking place in May and June. All right, now when they sell these taxes, anybody can buy them. Now, why did I say it was benevolent in the state? Because they allow the property owner to stay on the property. They don't push the property owner off the property. They just say, stay right there, but you have a lien on your property, and they file a lien against the property. Anybody can buy that tax lien sale. Now, I'm going to cover tax lien and tax lien certificates on another video. So this video, I'm going to talk about Escambia County tax deed sales, which, as I say, a tax deed sale is really an auction. All right, so investors go to these auctions and they want to buy properties as cheap as possible. So what has the county done? The county has basically seized the property. They confiscated it because someone didn't pay the tax. But first it went through the tax lien process. After 2 years, now here it's coming up for auction. All right, they're going to auction the property way below the tax assessed value in most cases. All right, so the tax assessed value is figured out every year, but the county treasurer needs to get rid of the property. So they're going to try to sell the property for very close to the back taxes. That could be 10 cents or 20 cents on the dollar. All right, so there's nobody got evicted from that property. There's people that still could be in the property from the tax lien auction, but now the county has seized the property and they're going to sell it. And they're going to sell it for the whatever price they can get, but they're always going to try to get the back taxes. All right, now in this case, what they're going to do, it's a tax defaulted auction. All right, now before the auction, the treasurer will move the people off the property. Okay, it doesn't matter whether it's a tenant or whether it's the owner, they move them off the property. All right, now they're going to sell the property. They're going to try to get as much as they can. However, they'll start the auction at 10 or 20 cents on the dollar. Highest bidder gets the property. All right, so we're not talking about tax lien certificates today. We're talking about tax deed auctions in Escambia County. All right, now these properties are used and abused. Some of them are junkers, and some of them are very good properties. So whatever you do before you go to a tax deed auction, you need to look at the properties. Don't wait and say you're going to look at it afterwards, because what if it's burned down? What if there's been a fire? What if there's been a hurricane? You don't want to get that property afterwards, and once you pay the treasurer. So the point is, in today's episode, I'm covering tax deed auctions. That simply means they're going to sell the property, and once you own it, it's yours to take care of it. All right, so this is an auction. Highest bidder will get it. How will you know about the auction? Well, it's always listed on the county website, and it'll also be listed in the newspaper. Now, anybody can show up. It's a public auction. Now, the more people they get there, the busier it'll be, but these counties that have small populations, there's generally only a half a dozen up to 100 properties. Now, in the large population counties, like Miami, Hillsborough County, which is Tampa, Jacksonville, which is Duval, those counties, the auctions there will have literally hundreds of people in attendance at the auction, and in some cases, they'll have up to thousands of properties there. All right, so the properties are sold at auction. Highest bidder gets it. The treasurer then, when the auction is completed, will delete the trust deed if there is one, and the mortgage. So you're going to buy a property without a mortgage or a trust deed loan on it, so the property is free and clear of those two loans. However, you should check for municipal loans and any federal loans on the property. All right, so for clarity, there's two auctions in Florida. One is a tax lien certificate auction. That's a very benevolent thing. They leave the people on the property. Now we're talking about tax deed sales. In this case, it's Escambia County, which is the capital of Florida. The property owner in this case is going to be you, because when the auction is finished, you're going to own the property. You're going to get a deed to that property from the treasurer. Now, I don't know what kind of deed you're going to get. Could be a treasurer's deed. It could be a quitclaim deed, but it's always going to have the effect of a quitclaim deed. All right, so keep in mind, small population county, just a few properties at auction, probably under 100. Okay, large population county, there's going to be hundreds of properties. You're always going to look at the property before you buy and before you bid. Why do you want to look? Because you want to make sure you know what the condition is. That's number one. But number two, it also gives you time then to say, what's my exit strategy? What can I sell this property for? Because you can compare it with other properties in the same neighborhoods. All right, now I would estimate at these auctions that about 25% of all the properties that are listed are going to be land. All right, now land is a whole different ballgame. So if you know about land, that's good, but I would make sure I had a land broker to help me, and I'd also make sure I did a survey. Now, if you don't understand what a survey is, you need to get a survey to make sure that when you buy that land, you're not encroaching on someone else's land, or by the same token, when you buy that land, someone else isn't encroaching on your land. So I wouldn't buy a lot of land without the advice of a land broker, and I wouldn't buy a lot of land unless I had a survey done on the land so I know what I really had. All right, there's all kinds of land. You could have irrigated land, you could have grazing land, you could have farming land. There's all different kinds. So you're an entrepreneur, you're going to have to decide to get who's going to help you do those things. All right, now how'd you get to be an entrepreneur? People have different thoughts. Some people want to be an entrepreneur because they want to get rich. Other people just don't want to work for anybody else. Some people say, I don't fit the mold for a corporation. If they don't fit the mold for a corporation, that means they want to work when they want to work. They want to work on what they want to work. I'm all for that, but I'm going to tell you, until you're making money in this business, don't quit your job. Keep your job. This business is going to take 5-10 hours a week at the absolute maximum, but you don't want to quit your job. You want to make sure you're already making money. All right, now, if we want to talk about being entrepreneurs, I know a lot of people want to do that, but I know a lot of people quit their job, okay, which is 40 hours a week, and now they go home and they have to work 60 hours a week and they still don't make as much money. So keep that in mind. So tax defaulted auctions are open to everyone. It's a public auction. Anybody can show up at this auction. The highest bidder is always going to get it. All right. If you're going to buy land, you're going to need some expertise that I can't provide you, but you can get that from a land survey, and you can get that from a land broker. I pretty much talk about urban properties all the time because I want people to be able to check out what they're doing. When I say check it out, I mean what's the condition of the property before you get to that auction. All right, so I'm going to run out of time here in just a minute, and before I close out this video, I want to make sure that I've said this. People make big mistakes at these auctions. The biggest mistake that you can make is to buy a property that you haven't looked at. So looking at the property is important. I don't know whether there was a fire. I don't know if there was a chicken farm there. I don't know if there was a hurricane. I don't know if there's been a flood, and neither do you. So you need to make sure you've looked at that property. That's number one. All right, number two big mistake that people make is they don't understand exit strategy. So you need to look at the property so that you can do comparables and know what you're going to sell it for. Many people buy the property and they have no idea what they're going to sell it for. Well, that could cause you to bid way too high to win the auction. You don't want to do that. You want to try to buy at the minimum price and have plenty of margin between the selling price and what you purchase for. Now, my name is Ted Thomas. I'll be back in another video soon, but right below me, if you'd like to have a free auction list, just go below me and register it, and they'll send you a free auction list.